Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. We wanted to do a top 5 campgrounds of 2019 video for you. Last year was our first full camping season, and I ended up doing 23 trips.
I only did 22.
That extra trip was awesome and very quiet.
Hey.
So we're going to do a top 5, and then there'll be a couple honorable mention places that we stayed that aren't necessarily campgrounds, but there are places that we visited and they were a lot of fun. So stick around for the video. We hope you enjoy it, and we hope that our top 5 is places that if you haven't gone yet, maybe this video will help you, book a trip there.
Here we are in number 5 on our list, Alum Creek State Park, located in Galena, Ohio. This is a state park we've camped at, I think, 4 or 5 times over the course of the last year, and we really like it a lot. It's convenient to my work, so a lot of times I work one Saturday a month, and so we'll camp there just to make it a convenient commute for me to get back and forth to work from the campground, and it's about a 5-minute drive versus 45 minutes from home to get to and from work. So that makes it nice. So there's one benefit there. But honestly, we really just like the park. The sites are huge. They feel kind of secluded, even though they're, just in a row like all the other campgrounds. But with the vegetation around them, they feel pretty secluded. The hiking trails there at Alum Creek are really, really nice. I hike those quite a bit even when we're not camping there. I go there a lot on the weekends just to hike. So that's kind of why it's my favorite, or top favorite.
Yeah, it's a great place. It's proximity to Columbus. It's probably 30 miles north of Columbus. So if you're looking for somewhere to camp and still be able to go to maybe like the Columbus Zoo, or you're coming into town for an Ohio State football game, downtown Columbus has a science place for kids called COSI. It's C-O-S-I. It's an acronym. It's a great place to visit. It's just one of those places it's just far enough away that you can camp and have fun camping, but it's also close enough to where you can get somewhere if you want to see some type of attraction. The Polaris Mall is close to there. If there's a night that you don't want to cook, the Cheshire Market's about 5 minutes away. They have awesome pizza and subs, and they also have a propane tank fill station there as well. There's 2 levels of mountain bike trails that are around there. One's more of a beginner style trail, one's a more of an advanced style that has some obstacles and jumps and things like that on it. So if you're into mountain biking, you can access it right from the state park, but it's within probably a 3 to 5 minute drive from the park. You can go to the trailhead and park and then get on the trail with your bike. The other thing it has is within the state park, it has a boat ramp. So if you're into boating, you can launch right there from the state park. It's in a separate section, but you don't have to go out of the park to launch and pick up your boat.
Yeah, I think at the marina they even have kayak rentals. I've seen it but never done it, but that's another thing too. If you don't have a boat to bring along, they do have kayak rentals, so that's something else to take advantage of the waterfront. And there's a big beach area too that's located not necessarily within the campground, but just kind of around the corner, and again, just a few minute drive. And it's really nice, it's well maintained, and it's just kind of a nice relaxing place to hang out as well.
Alright, so that was our number 5. Let's move on to number 4. Okay, number 4 on our list is Dillon State Park, which is located in Nashport, Ohio. From our house, it's really not that far. It's only like an hour and a half, or maybe close to 2-hour drive, so it's really close. We like this park a lot. There's a lot of things to do there. Namely, I think the thing we did that we liked the most was probably the disc golf course. This is the place where we got introduced to playing disc golf. They have an 18-hole course there. And there were people coming into the campground that weren't even camping. They were just coming there to play the course, which kind of says something about how nice it is. You can rent the discs from the camp store, which was a nice camp store too, by the way. So you can rent the discs there. I think it was $2 or $3 an hour to rent 3 discs in a bag. And so if you're just getting started, that's a good way to kind of get your feet wet with it. And then we found out that we've actually bought several sets since then. We kind of got into it a little bit. It's about $30 if you want to go buy a starter set, which gets you 3 discs, which is a driver, a mid-range, and a putter, and then a bag just to get you started. So that's something that's, if you're ever looking to get started, that's a nice park to go there, and you can kind of get going on that.
Yeah, he's right. It was a lot of fun, but the disc golf was something we really enjoyed. The other thing we had a lot of fun with when we were at Dillon was the geocaching. That's something you've probably seen in some of our videos that we, I guess, participate in, or whatever you want to call it, but it's just something we enjoy doing. It's a way to kind of get out and find different parts of the park maybe that we wouldn't have normally seen, and just gives us kind of something to do and focus on our trips. So we we really liked that. The other thing that was really nice that I think was like, what, half a mile away was the beach area.
Yeah.
It was just a really nice, like, sandy beach that overlooked the lake, which I'm assuming was Dillon Lake. I'm not really sure what it was called. But it was just a really nice, quiet, calm way to spend an evening, just walking up and down the sandy beaches. And we really enjoyed it.
This is one of those parks where people were saying that, this is one of the parks where people say if you camp over a holiday weekend, it gets really busy. And we did camp there on Memorial Day weekend. It was our first holiday camping, actually. And it wasn't that busy. We didn't notice that it was any busier than any other weekend. And especially when we went to the beach, we were the only people there.
Yeah.
And it was a Saturday evening. There was nobody there. Now I know the water probably isn't quite warmed up enough to swim maybe in May in Ohio, but that could be some of it. But it was just a cool park. The one thing I'll say that I wish they would improve on, this is almost like a negative, I guess, for that park or parks like this, is the water fill location. They have a dump station, and as far as dump stations go, it's as clean as one could probably be. But the potable water is not at the dump station or any other central location. It's actually located throughout the park on the loops of the campground. So when you get there on Friday evening, you drive around the campground and then you have to pull over to the side of the road and just get out your hose and fill right there. The problem with that is when we got there was 2 other campers in front of us. And with the larger campers, you actually have the road blocked, so people can't go around you while you're sitting there trying to fill your tank. And if you happen to be the poor soul that has the site that's right in front of the water fill, that would not be a fun place to be on a Friday evening watching all the campers come in and fill their tanks. I know it costs money, it's a lot of resource, that type of thing to change that, but that's something as the parks improve, I wish they would, at all those campgrounds and state parks where the fill locations are located like that, I wish they would improve upon that.
Yeah, but it was a great park. We had a relaxing trip there, and that's actually the campground he went to twice. He went once without me.
That's right, yeah.
So that was his extra trip, was the second trip to Dillon.
Forgot about that.
But yep, that was number 4 on our list. On to number 3.
Number 3 on our list for 2019 is Atwood Lake Park, which is located in Mineral City, Ohio. This is actually not a state park. It's ran by the Muskingum Watershed Conservancy District, and there are several campgrounds that fall within that organization. They're all very similar in how they look and how they're laid out, and the maintenance on this place is awesome. Like the sites are very well maintained. The park is probably one of the cleanest we've ever gone to. It was a great time. We camped with several people that we met at the Wandering Wagner subscriber campout a month earlier than the trip we took. So this was just a second trip based on the people we met at that subscriber campout for the Wagners. And we just wanted to go camping with these people one more time before the end of the summer. So that's what kind of spawned this trip. And it was probably one of the most memorable ones we had. We had, I think it was either 12 or 14 couples that were there. So it was just a great time.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the park. Like he said, it was just really well kept up. The sites were just beautifully landscaped, and you can just tell they put a lot of effort into keeping stuff clean and looking nice. The trails were really nice and marked and well maintained, so that's is always really nice when you're out walking dogs and stuff. The other thing that was, I don't know if it was fun or challenging or a little frustrating, but we went geocaching and we found this geocache that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It was the hardest one we've ever done.
I mean, it was like literally like smaller than a thimble. It was just ridiculously small, but it was a good challenge. It was on a fire tower that we knew it was on the tower somewhere, but just, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, we won't give away where it was. You can go back and watch our video and see what it looks like. It's on the tower, which doesn't really, you'll know that because the clue tells you it's on the tower. But to find that thing is pretty tough.
Yeah.
So we'll challenge you to go do that one. It was pretty tough. It's a number 5, which is the most difficult level there is.
Yeah, the other thing that was really nice when we were there, someone had pointed out, there's a bunch of sailboats on the lake. So, we all kind of walked down to the edge of the campsite and looked, and there was a Harvest Moon boat regatta, I guess, going on, and somebody got his drone out and took some footage. It was really nice, but that was just something that we've never really seen or watched, or honestly don't know any of the rules, but it was super relaxing just to sit there and watch the boats go past.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. There's some you'll see some footage on that here. I'll throw some in here. It was a cool thing to see. It was nothing we planned or even knew about. It just spur of the moment kind of thing. We love that park. We'll definitely go back. There's drone footage here that you're looking at of John Strag riding a skateboard through this section H is where we stayed, and I was just following with the drone in this clip right here, so you can see how well the sites are maintained, and it's just a really nice place. Like we definitely want to go back there.
Yep. So that was number 3 on our list. We're on to number 2. All right, everyone, we're getting closer. We're on to number 2. Our number 2 campground was Maumee Bay State Park, which is located in Oregon, Ohio, right on Lake Erie. And this was a great park. It was a little bit of a drive for us, so I think if we went again in the future, we'd probably try to go for an extra day just because it was a long drive and there was a lot to do there. But it was a great park. There was a lot to see and do. There was a boardwalk that we went on that just kind of was over by the nature center that was just something very unique that we haven't seen at any of the other parks. And just the walking trails in general within the park were really nice. And we saw more wildlife, I think, at this park than we have any of the other ones.
There was deer running. We saw deer like within the park. I mean, several times. I don't know how many it was, but several times. It was just deer.
I think even pulling in before we even unhooked the camper, there was deer. So, but that was really nice. There's a lot of birding in the area, and I do enjoy bird watching when I get the chance to get out. So I kind of like the birding activity in the area, just because it was pretty active with the migration and stuff up. You know, we went in June. The other thing we went to, which is not really at Maumee Bay, but it was, what, a 15-minute drive or something, was a marsh we went to visit called Howard Marsh. And we went there, speaking of bird watching, I was trying to find this yellow-headed blackbird that was supposed to be there, and I think we went on the windiest day ever, and there was no birds moving at all when we were there. They were all hunkered down. So it was a bad choice, but it was kind of the only day and time we had available to go try to find it. So maybe next year.
So Howard Marsh actually has a kayak launch. So if you have a kayak, you can go there, and it's a huge marsh, and you can paddle around the entire thing on your kayak the way it's laid out. So that's something else that's a little added bonus there if you're into that type of thing. They had some geocaching there, and we did a geocache. Some of them are trackables. They have like a tracking number that's on there. We can put that into the website and then log that we left it somewhere. And then when someone picks up that geocache, as long as they take it and leave it somewhere and then log that they did that, we can track where that geocache actually goes. So we've done several. They're all over the place. We left one at Maumee Bay, and we can tell that somebody picked it up, but they have not left it anywhere. So if you were that person, go drop that thing off somewhere so we can track it. It's a really cool place. It's all 30 amp hookup there, and it's actually a pretty large park, so it might be one where you might want to take off like on Friday and have an extra day to camp. Andrea mentioned the nature center, and you can see in our video that the boardwalk that we're walking on, the water was like maybe this far below the boardwalk. And I've seen people that have noticed and commented on our video that I don't know that water's always that full in there. It almost seems like it may have been flooded when we were there, and I don't know that for certain. But I had several people either comment to me or say, hey, that looked like there was a lot of water in there. So I'm not sure if it's really normally flooded that much or have that much water in it. But if it's just something that happened to be we were there in June and there was a lot of water. So it's a great park. I would highly recommend you guys checking this one out. That was our number 2 campground of 2019. Let's move on to number 1. Okay, you made it to number 1. This is our top campground in 2019. It's our favorite state park in Ohio so far, and that is Mohican State Park, which is located in Loudonville, Ohio. From our house, it's only an hour and a half. It's really not that far, which makes it pretty nice. We camped there twice in 2019. The first time was in April, and the second time was in November. So neither of those months are good weather-wise for why people go to Mohican State Park, which is the river. And it's good for tubing, canoeing, kayaking, that type of thing. So if you're wanting to go there and do those type of activities, make sure you check the weather, because it's something that, the river's up and down, and you want to make sure you check that out before you go. That way, it doesn't really affect your weekend. It has some really nice hiking trails, mountain bike trails there. They have gem mining there as well, and it's just one of those places we just really like a lot.
All right, my favorite part about Mohican State Park is just the hiking trails. They're really, really nice. I've actually gone up there to hike independently of camping there, and they're just really just unique trails. There's lots of hills, and there's a couple waterfalls. There's a covered bridge that makes it fun to just, explore the area. The other thing that's really nice about it is the sites are large, which we always look for when we have the dogs and stuff with us, we like the bigger sites. The first time we went there, our site was a little goofy the way it was set up. The fire ring was kind of behind the site, which was a little odd.
Actually, I just noticed this. They fixed that.
Did they?
Yeah, I know. When we were just there, actually, we're shooting this video in March. We were just there last weekend, and they have fixed the site that we had where the fire ring was on the wrong side.
Oh, okay, because I was going to say that would seemed a little odd for the first time we went, but the second time, we really liked our site on the second trip when we went in November. It was like I don't know how to describe it. The pad was like really wide, so there was just a lot of extra room and stuff. So it was really nice the way it was set up. The camp store is really nice there. I know they're working on kind of restocking and redoing it a little bit, but the camp store is really nice. The people that run it are really nice. I can't say enough good things about it. In fact, most of the camp stores that we ran into in the state park, they're pretty well stocked, and the staff is always nice and knowledgeable. So
yeah, it was a great time. We love both trips that we went, and it's our favorite state park of so far for Ohio. So that's it. Our top 5 campgrounds of 2019. Again, I mentioned that 2019 was our first full camping season. So we got to go out. We did some parks a couple times, but we did 23 trips or 22 trips together, and it was an awesome time. We met a lot of friends, and it was just a great first year to start it. Okay, here's a couple honorable mentions for 2019. These are not state parks, and actually they're not actual campgrounds at all. They're very private.
Yep, in no particular order. The first one that we went to that we really liked, honorable mention, was Pepper's Place. That was s'more camping with the Shrags. It's their home address or home base, I guess, John and Heather Shrag. And it was a really nice, for them to invite us to their house. We stayed in Site 2. We kept joking around. It was a RV pad that they have kind of right next to their house. It has water hookup and electric hookup. So we stayed there, and then they actually moved their camper over into the driveway so we could all hang out together. And they had a fire pit outside that we started on Friday and kept it going all weekend long. The other thing that was really nice is there's a winery within walking distance from their house. It was called Gervasi, and it was just phenomenal. It was not like any other winery I'd ever been to. It was just, the landscaping was beautiful. The atmosphere was just really nice. The winery itself was nice, but then they also had a bourbon house, or I think is what it was called. But we actually went there twice. The first time we went, it was dark out, and I wanted to see it during the day, so we went back the next day and checked it out. But it was just really nice. We appreciate them letting us come stay there.
It was actually our 13th wedding anniversary that weekend, and we got to spend it with the Shrags, John and Heather. So we followed our YouTube channel, and they started following our YouTube channel. We camped with them one other time, twice, I guess. The first time we camped with them was at Bart Camp State Park, and then we camped with them at the Wagner Camp Out, and then they were, nice enough to invite us to their house. We became friends with them pretty quick, and they're people that we feel like we've known for like 10 years, but we haven't even known them at the time we camped with them only for a couple months. So it's just really cool to meet them, and we appreciate them and their hospitality inviting us to their home. Okay, our next honorable mention was actually 2 trips in one for us. The first part of it was located in northwestern Ohio. It's pretty pricey and expensive. It is the Wandering Wagner's Camping Resort, which is located, like I said, in northwestern Ohio. So Lynn and Mike asked us to come up, and we've been trying to get a trip booked with them. So they asked us to come on up and camp with them over Thanksgiving. So we went up there on Wednesday, stayed at their house until Friday, had Thanksgiving with them. It was great. They have a lot of amenities there. We did some hiking trails around the house, and they have a RV dump station right there, in their yard, and it was great. Yeah, very pricey though. Like you're gonna need to save up, for at least 5 years probably to go there. Luckily they take big fat checks though.
A big fat check.
So the second part of the trip, that was Wednesday through Friday. The second part of the trip was a boondocking trip to Lynn's parents' farms. They've nicknamed this farm 7 Oaks, and they've camped there a lot. Like Lynn's camped there basically her whole life. And it's set up as a large wetland, the property is. It's about 60 acres, and there's trails around the wetlands that you can walk around. So we met up with Mike and Lynn, of course, and then Talmadge and Ashani from the Adventure Bandits joined us as well, and also Kenny and Jackie, who don't have a channel, but they should start one. They're always late, as you can see in the video. So they showed up as well, super late, with half a gallon of gas.
And no food.
And a generator that was not even out of the box. So Mike and I, we did almost like an unboxing video. As if you could watch the Wagner video on that, you can see that. It was pretty funny. So we had a great time with them. Just a boondocking trip, our first boondocking trip. I put a second battery on the camper prior to this. It was great. We had a generator. Everything was fine. Like, it was great weather, a little bit breezy during the day, but it was cool.
Yeah, the whole concept of boondocking, I was a little nervous about, even though we were with other people that had done it, but I was a little insecure. But after, you know, being there and kind of going through it, I would definitely do it again. The property itself, like he said, was really nice. The trails, you know, throughout the wetlands was nice. It was a little cold that weekend, not too bad for the time of year it was, but Cash could care less. Every chance she got, she was jumping in the water. She kept getting the zoomies and like running around the wetlands and jumping in and out of the little ditches that had water in them. And she had a good old time. So, but yeah, that was definitely an honorable mention that I really liked.
Yeah, it was a great time. Mike and Lynn, we've told you, several times off camera, but thanks for the invite on that. It was a great time, and I know it was something, we've been wanting to get a trip together, and I'm glad that we finally got to go out and camp with you guys, and the fact that it was a boondocking trip like that made it even more fun, I think.
Yeah, definitely memorable.
Yeah. So that's it. That's our top 5 campgrounds, along with a couple honorable mentions of 2019. I hope this video has helped you if you're looking to book any of these places, and we appreciate you watching our channel. Last year was our full camping season, as I mentioned. We had no intentions on starting a YouTube channel, but I think the thing we like the most about it is camping with people that we've met through our channel. So thanks for watching. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
What are we going to do if we run into Ranger Rick in the golf cart?
Man, listen, we run the Ranger Rick, I'm going to tell them real, I'm going to tell them nice as I can. Look here, Mr. Rick.
I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to flee the scene.
No, we
get out and we take it off.
We gonna face
They
it.
gotta catch us.
We gonna face it. I'm gonna tell him, look here, Mr. Rick, man, listen. Go find yourself something better to do, man. Go serve and protect. Go run a man up with a ticket with a golf cart, man. Go find yourself something to do, man. Work that badge, man. Get up out of here.